Climbing Frozen Waterfalls, Daredevils Lesson 12. The man's cry echoed through the frozen white mountains of New Hampshire. His 2 safety screws should have saved him, but they both failed. The man fell 45 feet down Cannon Cliff and crashed onto the ground, breaking 2 bones in his right leg as well as a bone in his left shoulder. His 2 climbing partners scrambled to his aid. They put a splint on his leg and tied his helmet to his foot, so they could more easily drag his broken leg through the snow. Even so, it took them 4 hours to get to the nearest road. Welcome to the world of ice climbing. The sport began in the 1960s and has been growing in popularity ever since. The idea is simple. You trudge deep into the mountains in the dead of winter looking for a huge frozen waterfall. These waterfalls are hundreds of feet high. Some are attached to the walls of sheer cliffs. Others hang like giant icicles, not attached to anything except at their top and base. Either way, because water falls straight down, the climb is straight up. Ice climbing isn't for timid souls. The names of the climbs alone would frighten away most sensible people. Who, for example, would want to climb Casket Quarry in Minnesota? How about Wicked Wanda and the Weeping Wall in the Canadian Rockies? New York's Gorillas in the Mist doesn't sound too user-friendly. Neither does the Fang in Colorado. Most people don't want any part of climbing these frozen marvels. Their motto is, "Look, don't climb." There is, however, a growing pack of daredevils who roam the world looking for ice to climb. For them, the ice is a challenge. "You've got to look right into the bottom of yourself," says Rick Wyatt. "It's the place where all the bull stops. Either you can do it or you can't." Anyone who chooses to ice climb must have the proper equipment. Each climber needs 2 special 8-inch curved axes with serrated teeth. A climber uses one in each hand, plunging the axes deep into the ice as he or she moves upward. Another vital piece of equipment is crampons, sharp-pointed metal cleats that attach to boots. 2 of the prongs on the crampons slant forward and can be kicked into the ice. Counting arms and legs, a climber has 4 points of contact with the ice. To stay secure on a vertical wall of ice, 3 points should be attached to the ice at any one time. That makes ice climbing a slow chop-chop, step-step process. One other piece of equipment is essential for safety. Climbers put ice screws into the ice to protect themselves if they fall. One end of the rope is attached to the screw, the other end to the climber. If the climber falls, the rope will stop her, provided the ice screw holds. Sometimes screws are not properly set or the ice is weak, in which case the screw will pull out of the ice and the climber will continue to plunge downward. The best scenario, of course, is to avoid falling. As climber Bill Earler puts it, falling is not recommended for ice climbers. There are plenty of good reasons for that. For openers, a fall could kill you. It happens every year. Climbers might not realize the sun has weakened the ice in the middle of a long climb. Suddenly, halfway up the icicle, the ice gives way, and the climber tumbles to his or her death. Occasionally, an avalanche will sweep a climber away. High winds, sudden storms, a broken prong, a dropped axe are all hazards that can lead to deadly falls. "If you do ice climbing hard for 15 years, says John Bouchard, you've got a 50% chance of dying, maybe 30. A fall that doesn't kill can still hurt. Broken ribs and bones are commonplace whenever a climber falls. During a fall, a climber might catch a prong on the ice, causing his ankle to snap like a twig. Another hazard of falling is getting stabbed by your own axe. Then, too, there are the internal injuries that can result when you slam into an unforgiving pile of rocks or wall of ice. Climber Alex Lowe broke a prong and fell 170 feet before his safety rope slammed him into a wall. The blow knocked Lowe unconscious. He was lucky to come out of the day alive. Ice climbing holds other dangers as well. Among these are frostbite, exhaustion, hypothermia. Brittle ice is also bad news for a climber. The blow of an axe can shatter such ice into many flat fragments called dinner plates, which rain down on the climber. Such a piece once fell into Lowe's eye, slicing his cornea. On top of the dangers, ice climbing holds certain inconveniences. Finding a good place to climb isn't always easy. Frozen waterfalls are often far off the beaten path. Says Mike O'Donnell, "I've sometimes walked a zillion miles in search of 90 feet of frozen water. Some places have great ice one year and none the next. Ice is fickle, changing not only from year to year, but day to day, even hour to hour. It has been said you could never swim the same river twice because the water's always changing. Well, a similar saying holds true for ice climbing. You can never make the same climb twice. Still, climbers have been searching for a place where they can be fairly certain to find solid ice to climb, no matter when they reach it. In Ouray, Colorado, they have found such a place. The world's first ice climbing park was built there in 1995. It has its own water pipes and sprinklers. The park has more than 45 routes to the top of the 120-foot climb. A novice thinking of giving the sport a try should probably avoid the routes named Bloody Sunday and Root Canal. Clearly, ice climbing isn't for everyone, but to those who are attracted to it, it's almost like a religion. Being so close to death tends to focus the mind like prayer. Climbers often talk about being in a Zen-like state of consciousness, and the thrill never grows old. It's a mystical experience, said Anton Savelli. The actual act of climbing is so immediate, addicting. It never fades.